going on in the world of home inspecting?
Home inspecting. Well, with home inspections, it's been a good time of year. A lot of people figure wintertime is a bad time for home inspections. Personal opinion, other than, you get cold feet once in a while, trudging through the snow, it's a great time. Winter shows you much more diverse vision of the house.
Interesting, because most of the buyers that I talk to are actually hesitant to buy in winter because they feel like they can't see the house.
I understand their point of view on it, and they feel they can't see it because yes, the roof may have snow on it. Yes, there's ice and snow everywhere. But when it comes down to the home inspection part of it, I can really see where a lot of the problems come from, which are a little more hidden in the summertime because the heat and does different things with the house. Like your windows are always going to be clean and clear in the summer because it's warm. Wintertime, you can see stuff like maybe there's a small seal that's let go on a window trim that you wouldn't see unless it was wintertime.
Got it.
So because I use my infrared cameras on every inspection because it's a must in the business, it makes more sense in the winter and it works more functionally in the winter because you have a higher contrast of vision.
Right, because we have the house is 20 degrees or whatever,
Exactly.
It's minus 40 outside, so you have that disparity.
Yep.
Whereas when it's plus 20 inside and plus 20 outside,
Balance point. It's harder to see it in the summer because that's where you need to come across with the better tools. So that's where, in my mind, the home inspection business, you need to stay up on with the technology, which I have. You need to have the higher end tools, and yeah, they're more expensive. But the problem I see is you can't take that cost and push it off to the client.
I see what you're saying. So you're saying just so you have this arsenal of tools, but that's an expectation and not.
It should be an expectation.
Not an upsell. Like
Exactly.
Some guys that charge an extra $100 to do an infrared scan,
Yeah.
right?
Whereas I play with mine every day of the week just for fun.
Just for fun.
Just for fun. Just to, even walking around my house, I see something that kind of looks out of place, I'll go grab my infrared camera. And just to throw the weird one out there, you're hanging pictures in your house, infrared camera's going to show you where the studs are.
Okay, so it's not fun. You
Don't even need a stud. Just mark it with the infrared. It's fun.
You ever mark it during an inspection?
I have one because the clients are like, we want to know where this is. So we actually took the infrared and some tape measures and laid out a picture. So when they took possession, they would know where everything was because they were relocating or had something in mind for that position of the house.
That's really
so we
cool.
have used it that way as just kind of not really silly, but just kind of something that came up during the inspection that was kind of a neat anecdote.
So in terms of tools, what are 5 tools that you always have in your truck?
5 tools I always have: an infrared camera, my drone, a ladder, a good screwdriver, and electrical testing equipment. Would be a good base 5 tool, but that would be a simple start. But that's not even a simple start. That's really above and beyond. It's hard to because I look at what I carry with me on a daily basis. I have an 18-inch pipe wrench in my tool bag. Why? Because I've had cleanup caps that leak.
Huh.
So when I see sewage leaking in someone's house, I'd rather take 2 seconds and do the upper hand and give it a quick little turn,
To stop the sewage.
to stop the sewage from leaking into a crawl space or basement. And I have come across that before. So it's just, I see a need. If I use it once, it goes in my toolkit. If I use it once in a whole year, it's still there for that one time I might need it.
So if I were to imagine you as like a home inspector character in a video game, how full is your inventory? How much room do you have?
Well, there's always room for more.
Room for more.
I'll always expand the bag.
What's the next item?
The next item for me is a new ladder.
New ladder. Tell me about it. What's it look like?
The new ladder I do want, it's a 32-foot collapsible, articulating, extendable ladder.
Okay, every word there makes sense except for articulating.
It's 2 16-foot ladders that articulate in different positions.
So it could be
it can be a full bridge or a full extension ladder, or it can be an A-frame. So you can A-frame up to 16 feet, or you can articulate it and have a full 32-foot extension ladder that collapses down to about a 3-foot ladder.
So you're telling me you could be like, there's a building you're inspecting here,
Yep.
you also have to inspect this one next, you could lay this thing across
If you really wanted to. Little game of lemmings there going on.
Yeah. Articulating ladders. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the oldest item in your tool bag, and where did it come from?
Oldest item in my tool bag. That would probably be my magnet. My extension magnet.
Extension magnet.
Because I've had that since I was in high school. It was my first Mac tool I ever bought.
What is it? Why'd you buy it? What need did you have for an extension magnet?
Working on cars, you drop a screw down in an engine bay and you need to reach down and get it.
Got it. And now it's more like you're unscrewing
electrical panel and you drop the screw in the wall. Yep. I can get that screw back.
Yeah.
I needed it once, and I think you did a little magic trick with it on a Instagram video a couple years ago. And one really big thing that a lot of people do ask is why get a home inspection?
Yeah.
But some people think of a home inspection as a pass or fail. And that is the wrong way to look at it.
Let me ask you.
So let's go with that.
So one common question that I get from buyers is they call me and they ask, what if the house fails the inspection?
Fails is not a word that I like to use.
Okay.
A pass or fail on a home inspection is the incorrect way to look at the purpose and the causation of doing a home inspection. The purpose of the home inspection is to give you the full view of the house, a third-party, unbiased opinion of the condition of everything in the home.
Right.
Nothing's a pass or fail. It can't be, because everything in a home is repairable. It all depends on your skills and your costs. So if you can afford to buy a house that has $100,000 of repairs that it needs, you can afford to do that.
Right.
I do find with this purposing, a lot of the lower cost homes tend to have more home inspections done.
Makes sense.
Because when you get into the higher priced homes, the people buying tend to have more funds available for repairs. So they're not thinking so much about, okay, well, I move in, my furnace dies, can I afford next month to spend $5,000 on a furnace?
Right.
Whereas you're spending $200,000 on a house, you're being a little more budget conscious, and you want to be aware of the situations and the condition of everything in the home, so that you're not stuck, you're not overwhelmed, and you're not making yourself house poor.
Right.
Because it's a huge investment, and there's many things that could go wrong at the blink of an eye. And the purpose of the home inspection is to educate the buyer and my clients and your clients as to the condition of the home.
If I'm a potential home buyer and I want a home inspection, what different options do you offer?
I have a couple simple options. I keep it very basic, very to the point, very easy for agents such as yourself to be able to pass on the information to the client. There's a full complete home inspection, which is the complete top to bottom, complete digital reporting system that now gives you that complete inspection with all its purposes in behind it. The other option, which due to the market and the value and making sure that clients that are mine or aren't mine or hopefully do give me a call, is what I deem a pre-offer home inspection. So when you come into a home that you're looking at and you want to purchase it, but there's an offer date a week ahead of time, you really love the house, but you're nervous.
Right.
That's where my pre-offer inspection comes into play. So we'll get in there, we'll get through the house, we'll answer all your questions and make sure that you have that confidence going into offers date, that you're not putting an offer in still leery about something that may come up, and you've got that background protection. So it's a little bit less costly because we're doing it as a pre-offer, as more of a verbal inspection as opposed to a written inspection.
So on my end, as an agent, when we're doing a pre-offer inspection, we're basically looking for reasons not to buy a home.
Essentially.
That's kind of how my perception has been, because we're looking at the, as I call it, the meat and potatoes.
The meat and potatoes.
We'll look at the potential high cost items.
Yep.
We're looking at the foundation. We're looking at the roof, the plumbing, the electrical,
Yep.
code issues, things like that. And
Well, we tend to stay away from code issues because code issues is also a point of contention with a lot of buyers.
got it.
Because when you're looking at older homes, current code is not necessarily prevalent to the inspection. Our inspection is more prevalent towards functionality and current condition.
Makes sense. And then I guess the really nice thing about the full inspection with the report is people now have that.
Yes.
They can use it for resale.
Yep.
They can use it to monitor the condition of their home because they have everything.
As a checklist to go through while they're renovating, working on, and also as a very meticulous maintenance guide.
Right.
Because I go through tons of maintenance when we're doing an inspection. Always talking, always going through. That's why I love having the clients there.
So when it comes to maintenance, let's talk about winter. What are 3 things that people should absolutely be doing that they can do on their own for winter maintenance for their home?
Winter maintenance, 3 very basic, simple things. Number 1, sump pumps.
Okay.
A lot of people think shutting it off is a benefit.
They disconnect it, yeah.
Do not disconnect it. You want to make sure, you want to take that smaller hose off and go to a larger hose that has more drainability. That's even a word. You want a larger hose that allows it to drain without plugging that small 1.5-inch hose. But you want to keep that water still diverted away from the house.
Got it.
When we get into the colder months, keep your furnace fan running. It's not necessarily a maintenance point, but it's leading to the maintenance of keep your furnace fan running. It'll keep the air fresh and circulating around the house. And the main purpose behind that as a maintenance point is your furnace filter. Make sure your air filters around your house, if you have an HRV, you have a furnace, change those filters every 2 to 3 months. You have pets, you have lots of kids, you have a huge house. The more often you change it, the better your air quality is going to be. It's going to keep that air fresher and cleaner. And shoveling your snow. Keep your snow shoveled. Keep your sidewalks clean and clear. That's more of a safety maintenance item. Step out your front door onto a patch of ice.
Yeah.
Keep that snow away from your doors so that you don't have the doors icing up.
What about snow on the roof?
Snow on the roof is not a bad thing. When you have light, fluffy snowfalls like we have been having, snow on the roof does kind of give you that sight that you have good attic insulation as well, because you're not melting the snow off of the roof.
Got it, because if there's heat escaping, then...
Exactly, the heat escapes through your attic and then it melts the snow. When we get into heavier snowfalls, that heavy, wet snow, more of the early fall, late spring, those kind of snowfalls, it doesn't hurt to have a snow shovel or a snow rake for your roof.
Or somebody to do it.
Or hire someone to do it. If you're not comfortable doing it, there's many companies out there that are willing to get up there and shovel that snow off for you. Just make sure it's done safely and properly.
Good.
Oh, another very important one through the winter time is the exhaust on your furnaces. With high efficient furnaces, a lot of people don't realize there's a lot of condensation that comes out of the exhaust on the furnace piping. So on the outside of your house, know where it is.
So is that the white pipes?
The white, gray, or black pipes that come out the side of the wall, that are your exhaust for your furnace.
Okay, so that's 3 colors there, white, gray, black. Why is there 3 colors?
Different eras, different build, different code.
Okay.
So it all depends on the year. Back in the 2000s, you could use black pipe. Now it's not code. Now you have to use white or the proper venting pipe.
Got it.
So make sure they're clean and clear. If that condensation from the exhaust, it builds icicles. You will have a tower or pyramid of ice underneath it if you don't clear it out regularly.
So, Jeremy, when I met you, you were actually with a different company, home inspection company of sorts, and we're not going to talk about that. But so you went on your own last March.
Yes.
Right? So what are you doing? How do you advertise or market yourself? Like, how do you get the word out about JW Home Inspections?
The way I get my word out is through the agents that I work with, through the clients that I work with, and a lot of it is word of mouth. I use social media to post. I try to post as regularly as possible and get just tips and tricks and cool tidbits of inspections where I'm at, or neat finds, interesting finds, dangerous finds. Working towards that, just a lot of social media presence seems to be very adequate in drawing attention to what I do, where I do it, and just getting the word of mouth out is huge.
Absolutely.
And I had a lot of support from a lot of agents going forward when I did go out on my own. because it was very much a difficult situation to get into with changing and stepping away from the other organization.
Right, because there are a fair amount of people out there doing what you do, maybe not how you do it, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of competition in your space, and a lot of these companies have been around for decades.
Yep.
Right?
So with being the little guy coming out of nowhere, I've got to be, how do I put it? I don't want to necessarily say I'm trying to be better than the others. I just have to make sure that I am doing my job to the best of my abilities to give the clients the best inspection that I can and give them the peace of mind, and hopefully they trust me in the long run with the purchase, which is a huge purchase in your life with buying a home.
Mm-hmm.
And just trying to stay at the top of my game and keep up with the times and stay with my background training that I do regularly. A lot of reading, a lot of online stuff, a lot of just talking to all the different people in the industries.
Right, because I mean, it's the reason that we have experts in trades is because things are constantly evolving and changing, and I don't think anybody can be an expert in a million different fields, right?
No. And
so how do you keep up with all of them?
I keep up with it as best I can, just through education sources I have. As part of being CAPI, the Canadian Association of Home and Property Inspectors, which is one of the only organizations in Canada to give standards for home inspectors. There's a lot of online training with them. They've got a good e-portal that has a lot of online learning, seminars, and a lot of just going around and talking to different people and staying on top of the technology with construction.
Nice.
And doing as much training as I can.
Nice. Is there anything else that you want to cover or go over?
Not really.
Okay.
I think we're good for this session.
This was good.
This was very good.
Yeah, I only disagree with one thing you said.
What's that?
About the little guy.